Hey everyone, it's your boy, Bigfoot. Today was supposed to be us in the snow and build a snow...
Nice coat, Hairball. Shame it's not frost-proof.
Oh, I'm frost-proof. I'm just not annoyance-proof. You touch Frosty, you touch me.
Strike!
Look, Mom, I'm a Christmas decoration.
You missed a spot!
Hang on, just cooling it down so Santa doesn't sue me. Free hot cocoa for anyone not trying to freeze my face off.
Why does it smell like jalapenos?
It's a special blend. Warms you up real fast.
Strike!
Winter sports upgraded. Really? Fish? That's unsanitary.
Snowmen, attack! Artillery with flavor. Boom! Free real estate.
Penguins, distract them! You'll make great snacks.
Bet you can't melt the HIS. Hot socks! Hot sock!
Science says heat makes you go faster! Ooh, dessert before victory.
Joke's on you, I like being refrigerated.
Thanks for the snack, chili boy. Gotta keep my energy up for this fight. S'mores are served.
YES! Weapon unlocked! No! My picnic spot. You've been... iced and spiced. Uh-oh. And that's how you win a snow fight, with style.
You ever wake up one morning, step outside, and instantly feel like the universe has been sitting in a smoky back room all night, playing cards with destiny and deciding, hey, let's mess with Bigfoot today? Yeah, that was me last Tuesday, and Tuesdays are already suspicious. You know why? Because they have no real personality. Mondays are famously hated, Wednesdays are the halfway point, Fridays are everyone's hero, Saturdays are for trouble, and Sundays are for naps. But Tuesday's just standing there in the corner like, I'm not doing anything wrong, when actually Tuesday is where all the sneaky nonsense happens. So I wake up in my moss hammock. Yes, a hammock made entirely out of moss and vines. You think I'm going to sleep on a memory foam mattress? No, thank you. Memory foam remembers too much. Last time I tried it, the mattress kept holding the shape of my butt, and I couldn't look it in the springs afterward. Anyway, I roll out of my hammock, do my morning stretch, which for a creature of my size involves at least 3 nearby trees creaking in protest, and I wander over to my fire pit. I get the pine needle tea going. Now, people always ask, Bigfoot, why pine needle tea? Well, first of all, it's free. Second, it tastes like the forest gave you a hug and then slapped you. And third, it's good for the immune system, which is important when you spend most of your life being damp. So, I'm sipping my tea, just enjoys the way the steam curls up and makes shapes in the air when I hear this sound. Crackling. At first, I think it's my breakfast fire. And fair enough, because I do have a bad habit of letting my logs burn like they're auditioning for a Viking funeral. But this sound, this wasn't my crackle. This was sinister. It was crisp, sharp, and creeping closer. And it wasn't just in one spot. It was spreading like some kind of invisible wave rolling through the trees. I look up the ridge, and that's when I see it, frost. Not the polite kind of frost you see in movies, where it just magically appears on the edges of a window while some romantic music plays in the background. No, this frost was alive. It was crawling down the trees like some icy octopus, wrapping around trunks, swallowing up moss, and leaving everything look like it was auditioning for a horror movie remake of Frozen. And it was moving fast. Branches sagged under sudden ice. Pine cones froze mid-fall. A squirrel tried to run across a branch, and halfway through, it slipped and spun in place like a tiny, furry figure skater. That's when I knew the Iceman was back. Now, if you don't know the Iceman, consider yourself blessed. Imagine a snow cone that learned karate, developed an ego problem, and decided that its life's purpose was to ruin mine. That's him. The kind of guy who would break into your cabin, use your toothbrush, and then put it back wet. The kind of guy who insists he's just being himself right after he freezes your front door shut so you can't leave for work. We've had encounters before, and every single one ends in me thawing my fur for hours and rethinking my life choices. But this time, I was ready. Because I had a secret weapon lava. Yeah, you heard me. Real molten rock straight from Volcano Valley. Don't ask how I got it here. Just know it involved 3 sleepless nights, a thermos reinforced with who knows what, and me sprinting away from an angry volcano spirit who's still probably telling the story to his lava friends. So here I am, hot tea in one hand, thermos of molten doom in the other. And I decide, not because I have an audience, but because I like to feel cinematic, to yell, "Hawaii, you're wownin'!" Now, the only living creatures around were squirrels, birds, and possibly one very judgmental raccoon, but I stand by my choice. Dramatic openings make you look like you've got a plan. Plus, it helps intimidate your enemy if they think you're so confident you're doing introductions. I start walking toward the frost. Each step crunches on that wasn't there 5 minutes ago. My breath's coming out in big clouds, which is weird because my breath is usually warm enough to toast bread. The forest is transforming as I move. Leaves go brittle and shatter. Icicles form on my fur like I'm growing an accessory line. I swear I pass a frog that's frozen solid mid-hop. The air smells like, well, like frozen air. Which is to say, it smells like nothing, but somehow in a way that feels offensive. And then I reach the clearing. It's like stepping into another planet, one where winter decided to be a dictator. Snow drifts up to my knees. The pond frozen solid, gleaming like polished glass. The whole place glowing with cold, blue light you only see when frost is trying to impress you. And there he is, standing dead center on the pond like some frosty action hero, spinning his ridiculous ice staff like it's supposed to make me think, wow, he's so cool. Spoiler, it doesn't. It makes me think, that's the exact kind of snap in half just to annoy you. I shout, all right, chilly boy, let's dance. And before I can even blink, he hurls an ice spear at me. It misses by about 3 trees, but completely obliterates my picnic umbrella. I hadn't even sat in it yet. Now it's personal. So there I am, standing in the clearing, holding my lava thermos like it's the last cup of coffee on Earth. And the Iceman is glaring at me like I just parked in his reserved glacier spot. The wind shifts. The temperature drops another 5 degrees. Somewhere in the distance, a pine tree just gives up and topples over under the weight of ice. Iceman grins, and I hate it. He's got this smug little smile that says, I'm moisturized with snowflakes and you're suffering. Ready to lose again, furball? He says, his voice all crisp and unlike someone speaking through a refrigerator. I crack my knuckles. Ready to get melted snow cone. That's all it takes. We're in it. He slides across the pond like some Olympic figure skater gone rogue, ice staff spinning in a blur. I rush forward, which, okay, wasn't my best move, because charging onto a frozen pond with bare feet is basically like saying, gravity, I would like to personally meet you today. My first step, fine. My second step, wobbly. My third step, let's just say if there was a Winter Olympics category for accidental interpretive dance, I'd have won gold. Iceman, of course, takes this opportunity to fling a wave of ice shards my way. And let me tell you, getting pelted with razor-sharp snow isn't fun. It's like being attacked by an army of angry snowflakes who went to military school. I whip out my secret weapon, not the lava yet, just a big ol' snowball. Yeah, I know, not impressive. But hear me out, when you're 7 feet tall with hands the size of dinner plates, your snowballs are basically frozen meteors. I hurl it. He dodges. It smacks into a tree, completely burying an owl who is not amused. From the look it gives me, I can tell I'm going on some kind of woodland. Do not invite. List for the next decade. Iceman counters with an ice ramp, and suddenly he's flipping through the air like a frosty ninja. He lands behind me and swings his staff low, trying to trip me. But my legs are basically tree trunks, so all he manages to do is give me a free shin massage. That's when I decide to escalate. I pop open my lava thermos. Steam pours out like a rock concert fog machine. Iceman's eyes widen just a little, which is the closest thing to fear I've ever seen on him. "Oh, you brought that," he says. "I brought that," I reply. I scoop a handful of lava, carefully, because it's not exactly petting zoo-friendly, and hurl it toward his ice ramp. The second it touches, the ramp hisses, melts, and claps as he stumbles, windmills his arms, and just barely catches himself on the edge of the frozen pond. "Slippery hop," I say. He growls. "Hey, well, I'm just warming up." "Yeah," I say. "Me too, except in my case, that's literal." So there we are, me on one side of the frozen pond, lava thermos steaming in my hand, Iceman glaring at me like I just insulted his mom's popsicle recipe. Neither of us is giving an inch. The air is tense, the ice is cracking, and somewhere, I swear, a squirrel's placing bets. Then, sea rafts, a fissure opens right between us, zigzagging across the pond like a lightning bolt. Lava and ice don't mix quietly, and now the ice is groaning under us like it's auditioning for a horror movie sound effect. I'm thinking, great, we're about to have an impromptu swimming lesson in glacier water. Iceman recovers first. He flicks his spraff and sends a spray of frost toward me. Not just a little flurry. No, this is a whiteout blizzard blast, the kind of thing that makes you instantly regret not wearing 6 more layers. My fur freezes stiff in patches, and I suddenly look like a walking snow-dusted Christmas tree. "Nice," I say through chattering teeth. Now to my back, so I match. I counter by sloshing a ladle of lava onto the pond, sending up a wall of steam. The fog is so thick, I can't see my own hands, which would be a good thing if I was a sneaky, nimble fighter. Unfortunately, I'm Bigfoot. My, sneaky. Mode sounds like someone dropping a refrigerator down a flight of stairs. Somewhere in the mist, I hear him skittering across the ice. Then, tea cake! Something cold smacks me in the face. I wipe it away and realize he just nailed me with a frozen fish. "Where'd you even get this?" I yell. "You don't ask questions in battle?" He shouts back. That's when the steam clears, and I realize we're no longer alone. The commotion has drawn a crowd. First, there's Gary the raccoon, sitting on a log, munching popcorn he definitely stole from someone's campsite. Then a pair of deer wander in, looking mildly confused but too polite to leave. And overhead, 3 crows are circling, cawing like sports commentators. I figure if they're gonna watch, I might as well give them a show. I stomp down hard, cracking the edge of the pond, and launch a slab of ice into the air. Iceman jumps to dodge, but I'm already sliding off the ice and into the forest, motioning for him to follow. Because if we're gonna settle this, we might as well take it somewhere with better cover. He takes the bait. The chase is on. We crash through the trees, me barreling forward like a runaway boulder, him gliding effortlessly over patches of ice he conjures under his feet. I'm leaping over logs, dodging branches, and trying to keep my lava from sloshing onto my toes. Halfway through, I burst into a clearing where a family of bears is having a berry picnic. We lock eyes for a solid 3 seconds. Then the biggest bear size grabs his cubs and drags them behind a rock like, "Nope, not today." Iceman tries to flank me, shooting a volley of icicles from the tree line. I duck behind a boulder, only for one of the crawlers overhead to yell, "Missed him. Weak shot." I swear I see Iceman look up like he's considering freezing a bird. I decide to turn things up a notch. I spot a fallen log with a hollow center, tip it on its side, and pour a little lava inside. Smoke billows out the other end like a cannon. When Iceman skates by, I give the log a mighty kick. Oosh! A blast of smoke and burning pine cones rockets toward him. It doesn't hit him, but it does set the bottom of his ice cloak steaming like a tea kettle. He yelps, spins, and shoots a jet of frost to put it out. Somewhere behind us, Gary the raccoon yells, $10 on the furry guy. I grin. Hear that? I've got fans. We burst out of the forest and skid to a stop at the cliffside lava vents, my turf. The ground here is hot enough to toast marshmallows just by dropping them. Steam hisses from cracks in the rock, and the air smells like burnt socks, which I've always found comforting. Iceman freezes mid-step, glaring down at the bubbling lava below. You brought me to your little volcano bath? I grin. Yep, ever fought on hard mode. He growls and plants his staff. Instantly, frost spreads across the rocks, creeping toward the vents. I counter by uncapping my thermos and flinging a splash of lava his way. It sizzles into steam before hitting him, but the hiss alone makes him back up. For a second, we both pause, not because we're tired, but because we spot a family of goats standing nearby, watching like they paid for ringside seats. One of them sneezes and Iceman laughs. Even the goats think you're ridiculous. Buddy, I say, I am ridiculous. We circle each other, both waiting for the other to make the first move. Then, at the exact same moment, we both slip on the same patch of damp rock and fall flat on our backs. The goats start bleeding like they're heckling us. We agree very reluctantly to a 30-second truce to regain dignity. That lasts about 10 seconds before I get the bright idea to prank him. I quietly scoop a little lava onto a flat rock and slide it behind him. He steps back, yelps, and does a hop like he's auditioning for a boy band. Oh, you're dead? Bigfoot! He snaps. He tries to freeze my feet in place, but I jump clear and land on a patch of icy conjures mid-air. That sends me sliding down the cliffside like a hairy sled, screaming the whole way. Iceman follows, skating alongside me. Race you to the bottom, he shouts. We hit the base of the cliff together, tumble into a pile of ash and pebbles, and just lie there for a moment, breathing hard. Then, without saying anything, we both slowly reach for our weapons again. Round 2 is coming.